Hi, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Candace McCool, and I am so glad that you have joined me today. Today is going to be a little bit of a different video because I asked a question on Facebook and Instagram about what is keeping you from obtaining your fitness and health goals. And I got a really great response. I've got so many things that people have said that are keeping them from getting in shape, getting healthy, sticking to their plan. And so I just wanted to go over some of these things. And I am by no means an expert, but I have learned so much over my fitness journey. And so I want to share some insights that I have found that have helped me stay on track and to my macros diet and to my exercise program. And so I really hope that these little tidbits of advice will help you as well. So let's get started. The first one is time. This was posted by Sarah, Kelly, Andrea, Deneen. I'm telling you, this was probably one of the most requested obstacle needing to be addressed. And I totally get it. You know, as you guys know, I am a registered nurse in a busy ER. I'm a pageant coach. I'm a Thrive promoter. I'm a boot camp instructor. I'm a mom to a special needs child who has to have way more time devotion than a typical kid would. She has physical therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy, feeding therapy, you know, different things that we have to do. And also, you know, I love my sleep. I'm not only am I a mom, I'm also a wife, and so I need to have that quality time with him and quality time with my kid and be able to fit in work and be able to fit in all of these other things that I do. And so here's my biggest advice for that. What is your priority in life? You know, we make work a priority because that allows us to have financial stability to be able to provide for our family and have a house and have a car and, you know, have food on the table. And so that's a priority for us. So we make time for that, right? Your marriage, if you are married, you make time to, you know, spend quality time with your spouse. Forgive that spouse, even when you really don't want to, but you know that compromise is going to be where it's at to have a healthy and happy marriage. You want to devote quality time to your child because you want them to know that they are loved and valued and be able to become a productive member of society and have their own family and be able to replicate that in their own lives. And so you make all of that a priority, so why not your health? Now, maybe your health isn't a priority, and if it's not, that's okay. I am not judging, but if you really do want to be healthy and to look a certain way, then you have to make it a priority. You can't just find the time to work out. You can't just find the time to cook good, clean meals. You have to make the time. And so the way I've done that is, you know, I get up super early in the morning. And like I said before, I love my sleep, but I get up early in the morning before my daughter even wakes up and I get my cardio out of the way. That is something that I can get onto the elliptical and just pound out for an hour. I don't watch TV. If you can tell me off the top of your head your favorite 3 to 5 TV shows that you enjoy, then you have time to strength train and do cardio. You do, because you can actually combine, I mean, gosh, there's like Netflix and Amazon and Hulu and all of these different apps. You can do cardio while you watch your TV. Combine those things. Make the time, make your health a priority. Find your passion, what drives you, and always keep that in the forefront of your mind. The second thing is motivation. Sarah, Lisa, Sherry, Jillian, you guys have all listed that as motivation is one of your toughest things. And it really comes back to almost what I've talked about with time. What is your priority? You know, for me, this bikini competition is a huge motivator. There are many times that I don't feel like meal prepping. I don't feel like getting up at 5 a.m. to work out. I really don't want to get into the gym. I'm unmotivated. But I think about my goal that I have set for myself, and I know that in such and such time, I've got to be on stage in a bikini, and I've got to bring the best package that I can. So even if I don't feel like it, I'm going to get my butt in there and I'm going to do it. And it may not be the best workout I've ever had, but I'm going to do the work. I'm going to burn those calories. I'm going to get a little bit more muscle built up so that my metabolism stays high. Same thing for you. Find a goal, whether that's doing a 5K. There's tons of Couch to 5K apps that you can get, whether it's maybe doing a mud run. Those things are really, really fun. Those obstacle courses, I mean, how fun is that? I've got a friend, Kim, who did that, and that's what started her on her fitness journey, is she started doing these obstacle course runs, and now she's doing bikini competitions, and she has 4 kids, you guys. 4. You see that? 4. And she is even training as we speak with a baby that's just a few months old, and she's training and she wants to compete in October. It can be done, you guys. You just have to find what your priority is and make sure that every morning you're making time to fit that into your schedule. Let's see. Number 3, willpower. Kelly, she listed this as her number 1 thing that's keeping her. She says, giving up when I have had a bad day. Well, you know what? One day will not make or break you. Hop back on that wagon. Just like one meal is not going to make or break your diet. Just don't let it snowball and it becomes days and days and days. Say you slip up on a Tuesday and like, well, there goes that week. I'm not going to start back until Monday. No, just jump back right into it. You've got this. She also mentioned that, you know, she doesn't have a lot of time to spend with her girls to go to the gym after work and then be able to spend time with her daughters. And that's okay too. I completely understand that. Time is huge, especially for busy mamas. So what I would recommend is something called the Less Meals on Demand app. And that way you can work out at home. So get up before your girls wake up in the morning and do some of their body pump or their body flow. Body pump, by the way, is like a strength training program, and their body flow is more like a yoga, tai chi, Pilates kind of thing. They've got HIIT workouts, which stands for high intensity interval training. They've got core workouts. They've got body combat. Ooh, that is my jam. I love body combat. You get your strength training and your cardio in one. And do that at home so that you're not using that time in the car that you could be using to knock out that workout. All right, let's see what number 4 is. Number 4, it was listed as laziness and apathy. Amanda said that laziness and apathy are her worst things. And Sherry and Kitty also said this. So again, it comes back to priority. You know, combining that cardio and TV or whatever it is that I don't know. Keep a journal. What are you doing during the day? What are you spending your time on? And see how much time you're spending on each thing and see where you can work in your cardio and your strength training into. Do some soul searching. Choose something that is convenient. So a gym that is closer by. You know, maybe the best gym in town is an hour away from you. That's not going to be convenient. You're not going to stick to that. So choose something that's closer to you. Take classes so that it takes the guesswork out of what am I doing over in the weight section and what do I need to be working out this day? Just take a class, and then that way it's all done for you and you just have to follow along. And again, you can always do at-home workouts. What I, especially on lazy days, I like steady state cardio. The number one thing I really feel like has helped me cut since January, and I've lost over 20 pounds. It is now June and I've lost over 20 pounds, and on my 5'1" frame, that is a lot. So I went from like 123 down to 101 right now, and that is by implementing fasted steady state cardio. Yours doesn't have to be fasted, but steady state cardio means you're not going balls to the wall as fast as you can, getting your heart rate up, sweating like a pig. It's not about that. It is about a consistent rate and keeping that steady over a specific amount of time. Now mine is an hour. That's a lot. Just start with 30 minutes if you don't have an hour, and then work your way up. But what you want to do is come up with what your target heart rate is. So you find your maximum, that's 220 minus your age. Then you're going to multiply that by like 0.7. That's about going to give you a good heart rate in order to be able to sustain that for that specific amount of time and be in that fat burning area. So for me, that works out to be about 65 to 75% of my maximum heart rate. You're a little out of breath, but not so much that you can't carry on a conversation. That might be better if you're feeling kind of lazy and don't have a whole lot of energy. And you guys know I am a Thrive promoter. I live it. I am a product of the product because I 100% believe in it. So if you are struggling with energy, click the link down below and you will not believe how much natural energy that you get. In fact, I don't know how anybody does any kind of bikini prep without thriving. It has given me such great energy. My daughter, she has special needs. She's sick right now. She was up all night. I got 4 hours of sleep last night and I still feel good. I still got up at 5 a.m. and I still got in my cardio, and I'm about to go strength train. It's all about a mindset, and it's about fueling your body, bridging your nutritional gap so that you feel good enough to actually get up off the floor or get up off the couch and actually work out. So number 5 is food choices. Lauren, Summer, Jillian, Jennifer, Shayna, April, all of you guys listed food choices as your issue. So let me kind of go down because each person kind of had something different to add. So with Summer, she wants to know what to eat. She does not want to follow macros or a meal plan. She wants to eat on a whim. What to eat and when for insulin control. So my biggest advice for that is don't try to be a culinary expert. Keep it simple. So that means having at every meal a protein, a vegetable, a carb, and a fat. And here's the list. Get out a notepad and pen because I'm about to go list off. And what you want to do is choose something from the protein list, something for the vegetable list, something from the carb, and something from the fat. And just grab something from each of those lists and put it together for a meal. It's as simple as that. So for my protein sources that I like are lean meats like chicken, and that can be chicken breast, chicken tenderloin. You can make it all kinds of different ways. You can put it in the air fryer. You can do bake it in the oven, saute it on the stove, put it in the crock pot. I mean, the ways are endless. Fish, I really am digging the mahi right now because it has 1 gram of fat in 3 ounces. Shrimp, oh, so easy. Get it in the bag and just throw it in the skillet and you're done. Lean ground beef, and you're looking for like 97% lean. So really look around the grocery stores until you can find that because you don't want the extra fat that's in most of your ground beef. Lean turkey, lean pork, those are going to be your lean meats that you're going to choose from. See, there's a lot of variety in that. The vegetables, and really this is just whatever you like. My choices that I implement in my own diet are broccoli, zucchini, bell peppers, mushrooms, okra. Oh, I am loving some pickled okra right now, and it's so easy because they're in a jar, it's in the refrigerator, you get it out, I measure out 2 ounces, and I just chow down on those bad boys. Spinach, lettuce, like for salads and things like that. Corn, asparagus, I am loving asparagus right now. Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, and that includes cauliflower rice, which you can add to just about anything. I add it to my oatmeal. I add it to I replace pasta with the cauliflower rice. I also use that, gosh, there's just so many different things that I use it for. But anyway, so then you want to go to your carbs. So sweet potatoes, golden potatoes, basmati rice. Those are really the only carbs that I use. And then I use the Joseph pitas because they're lower carbs. So like your tortilla wraps and things like that. So try to get the lower carb tortilla wraps if you're doing that as a carb. And then your fats, your avocados, your olive oil, coconut oil, nut butters. I love implementing nut butters when I have a few extra grams of fat in order to add to my macros diet. So all those different lists, choose one of each, you got a meal. And think about how many different variety of meals that you've just now gotten. And that way, all you got to do is make out a little grocery list and then bring it home and then just grab one of each, and you don't really have to think about it. So I hope that helps you out, Summer. Let's see. I know there were some other things. Let's see. Jennifer wants a meal plan. So I went to heyspotmegirl.com, and I will list that down below. It has a 12-week meal plan that you can implement, and it's exactly what the bikini competitors use. So I think you'll really enjoy that. Shayna has issues with cravings, and I will tell you it does take about 3 weeks to retrain your taste buds so that you're not craving the chocolate, you're not craving the really high fat things. You know, my taste buds have changed a lot, and I don't crave the things that I used to crave. So give yourself 3 weeks on this clean meal plan before you really think about the cravings. And when you do have a craving, I only give myself up to 3 bites of whatever I am craving. I think I learned this like 20 years ago with the South Beach diet. It was one of their little tips, and that's what I've implemented so that you can have the things that you want. You just don't gorge yourself till you're full and you get all those additional calories. And she's also an emotional eater. Now, I am not well versed in this, so I found a really great website that talks about like finding your triggers, creating a journal so that you know why you're eating and what's going on at the time and that kind of thing. So I'm going to send you there. It's verywellfit.com, and I'm going to provide the link down below for you. Okay, and I think that would be much better than me trying to give you advice because I am not an emotional eater. Sometimes I do eat out of boredom, and if that's the case, oh yeah, girl, drink you some water. Don't be bored. Find something to do to keep yourself busy and drink more water. Carbonated beverages are really good, like your diet drinks. I'm really liking the ice sparkling waters because just for the variety of different flavors that it offers without a lot of the added ingredients that aren't so great for you. But yeah, if it's just boredom, try implementing that. If it's actually emotional and it's tied to something that triggers you, go to that website and see what their advice is. So April says that finding the right plan to achieve her goal in body fat percentage. This is when I 100% say get a coach, because I thought that I was eating good, but my body never has looked this good in my entire life. I have not been 101 pounds, not even in high school did I weigh that. So, you know, knowing now what works for my personal body, I can now go on and do this myself after I've gotten over this bikini competition phase of my life. So spend the money up front, hire you a good dietitian or bikini coach, and just have a plan that's personalized for you until you feel comfortable with it, and then you can continue it on for yourself. All right, so let's go on. Number 6, health food prices. Katie was really concerned about this. And the one thing that I'm going to say is eating out is expensive. You know, if you make those simple meals that I talked about earlier, then your meals are not going to be expensive at home. You're not going to have these little minute things that go into these big recipes that you're only going to use once and then it's going to go bad. You're going to use up everything that you bought at the grocery store every single week. And so it actually is not that expensive. Also, really do some soul searching. List out, what are you spending your money on every day? Is there something that you could take out that you could then, you know, go towards more produce or more lean meats? And just analyze your life and the way that you are living it now. And I promise you, you will feel so much better. And you got to think about the long run. Oh, what about 5-10 years down the road? What if you develop diabetes because of the way that you're eating now? Diabetes is expensive. You've got your insulin, you've got your medication, you've got your possible hospital bills. What about congestive heart failure? What about high blood pressure? Not only are these things going to make you feel like poo, but they're super expensive. You've got to take medication for them now if you're not doing diet and exercise. So you're either going to do diet and exercise now, or you're going to have to do it later once everything has kind of snowballed and gotten out of control. So think about, what are your long-term plans for your health, and make your health an investment. Invest money in what is important to you. And if you are making health your priority, then that's what you're going to put your money towards. All right, so Rebecca, number 7, Rebecca says vacations and restaurants, how to stay on track with those. So for me, what's helped me is to think ahead. I go ahead and figure out, where am I going to eat, look up their menu online, and already decide what I'm going to have to eat. And sometimes, you know, I have to make modifications to those things. So like if I'm going to get a salad, which is a lot of the times the best thing to get, all of those nuts that they put on it, all of the cheeses that they put on it really pack on the calories. So you can get those either on the side or none at all. I have even been known to bring my own dressing to a restaurant and use my own dressing on top of their salads. If you don't want to do a salad, you're gonna have to choose their leanest their leanest meat, their vegetables, things like that. Ask them to hold the butter, different things like that. But if you already know what you're going to get going into it, and I even did this on vacation too. I looked up things in the Gatlinburg area when my husband and I vacationed there, and I figured out what was I going to have. And if the restaurant we wanted to go to didn't have anything that I could alter in any way to meet my goals, then we just didn't go there. I still had a great experience. I was still there with my husband and having a wonderful time with him. I was still taking in the environment. I just was staying true to my macros and staying true to my diet, and I kept my goals in mind, knowing that if I splurged on this was going to be a momentary good feeling of eating it, but long term it was not going to show up in my body the way that I really wanted it to. So you got to make that decision to choose what you want to eat and stick to it. All right, number 8. So Matthew said that he is limited on what movements that he can do because of his weight and just body composition. So what I would say to you, Matthew, is focus on food first. You know, you're worried about getting your cardio up there and your heart rate up there, and there's so many things that you can't do. Let's get the weight down first. Abs are made in the kitchen. So let's get your food on point the way that you need it to be. Once you are in a calorie deficit and you start losing weight, the cardio equipment's going to be so much easier for you. If you are suffering from joint and ligament pain, get some glucosamine and chondroitin. Those are really good for those kind of things. Once you focus on your diet and you get that on point, then start implementing things like yoga, strengthening your body in a less impactful way, doing that Tai Chi, doing that Pilates, and getting your muscles, you know, strengthened. Even even do some strength training that is low impact. You know, your bicep curls, your triceps, your shoulders. You know, do what you can do until you get your weight to the point where you can do more than just have access to a pool and not be able to do anything else. For me, I am 41, and so I can't do the treadmill anymore. It gives me shin splints, it hurts my Achilles tendon, it hurts my hips, and that was one of the things that I used to do all the time. I used to run 3 miles a day on there when I was in my 20s, but I can't do that anymore. So I do the elliptical. You can also, when I broke my back, I did the recumbent bike, and then I did the yoga and Tai Chi Pilates combo through Les Mills on Demand that I mentioned, until I was strong enough to then be able to lift the weight. So you guys, I've started from scratch. I've had to relearn how to balance. There was a time a few years ago I couldn't even balance on one leg. So I have come a long way since then, but it takes baby steps, and it takes doing things every single day, being consistent with it. All right, we're up to number 9. So Hannah says that she has a lot of anxiety regarding going to the gym by herself, and she fears that when she does things at home, she's not doing it correctly. And I think Lisa also had an issue with going to the gym as well by herself, and I 100% understand that. I don't always know how to use those machines. So what I did is at 24E Trustful, where I go work out, they have trainers that work there. And when you are a member there, the trainer will show you how to use all of the equipment. So if your gym offers that, take them up on that. Also, YouTube can be your best friend. I don't always know how to do the movements that my coach sends me. So what I do is I go on YouTube, I type in the movement, and then I create a playlist. So strength training 1 for my first workout. And then I basically just save all of it to the playlist so that while I'm in there, I can hit play really quickly, see how they're doing the movement and keeping their body in line, and then I can do that movement. And then I'm not spending my entire time trying to Google how to do this stuff. Also, put blinders on. You know, you think everyone is watching you, but they're not. They are concentrating on what they're doing. So get your head, put your earphones in, get into your own head, and do what needs to be done. Also, there was one other thing I was going to mention. I was going to tell my little story. So this happens to the best of us. I went in super early to do a strength training workout. It was probably 5:30 in the morning, and I was doing hamstring curls, but my gym doesn't have the kind of hamstring curls that my coach at the time was wanting me to do. And so I got on what I thought was the hamstring curls, and it was 4 hamstring curls, but I was doing it incorrectly, like really bad, to the point where I was doing it and a guy had to come up and tap me on the shoulder and say, hey, you may want to put your other leg right here and lift it up this way. I was mortified. I get it. I get that anxiety. I was praying I didn't end up on one of these Instagram websites that, you know, showed how people are using the machines funny. It happens, and it's okay. I got over it. I learned how to use the machine, and my life went on. It's not that big of a deal. It really isn't. I promise you will get over it. But use that YouTube playlist, and that way you know how to do everything. When you're doing it at home, you can also do So apparently my camera does not like for me to be so long-winded. It overheated, and so I used that time to go and meal prep some lean hamburger meat and some fish that I'm gonna have later on today. And I am back to finish up this list. So we left off with number 9, which is anxiety. And now we're gonna go to number 10, which is knowing what exercises are best to meet your goals. This was submitted by Sharon. And I really wanna say, depends on what your goals are. I don't really know your personal situation. I don't know what kind of look that you are going for. So what I would highly recommend anyone that's just starting out is to hit your highlighted big muscle groups. So for me, that's going to be my shoulders, and it's going to be my booty, and it's going to be my core. And so one day you may want to focus on shoulders, back, and biceps. Another day you may want to focus on your quads and your glutes. Another day maybe chest and triceps. Another day maybe hamstrings and abs. If you don't want to try to compile a strength training program yourself, there's a lot of them online that you can get, or I know you work out at my gym, Sharon, so if you want to go to a body pump class, they do a head to toe, all the major muscle groups in a 1 hour format, and then that way you don't have to think about it, and you can just go 3 to 4 times a week and do that and get your strength training in. Then once you start losing the fat in between the skin and the muscle, and you get to see what kind of muscle you're really dealing with, then you're going to know what your weakness is and what your strengths are. So that's what I would recommend. Now, the last one was submitted on Instagram by my friend Daryl, and this one is one that I am still going to have to work out for myself, and that is sustainability, the yo-yo dieting, the ebb and flow of fitness. And so here's what I'm going to suggest for that. It's completely natural. What I am learning is that you cannot build big muscles while you are in a calorie deficit. You actually need to eat a little bit more calories to fuel that muscle growth, and then you can start shredding down and implementing more cardio. And so this ebb and flow, as you say, is actually natural. So what I would do is, instead of always being in a constant, gotta get that cardio in, gotta get that strength training in, gotta lose that weight, let's make sure that you have the muscles that you want. And if you are already there and you've got that level of muscles, then you can start your shredding. And then that's when you're going to up your cardio. You're going to slash your calories a little bit, and just small increments, not a lot, because you still want to have that energy to be able to do all this. And then do your strength training as well. And then you're going to shred down for summer. This is, beautiful weather out there. Let's shred down for summer. And then once fall starts to get here in the winter months and you're wearing sweaters and people aren't seeing you as much, then you can kind of let up on your diet a little bit, do heavier sets, heavier weights in the gym, build up bigger muscles that's then going to increase your metabolism, and then start shredding again starting in the spring. How's that sound? That's how I'm going to approach it after my show. I'm going to do a reverse diet, and so little by little I'm going to increase my calories, and I am just going to kind of let my body natural metabolism continue to climb as I eat a little bit more, and I'm not shredding anymore, if that makes sense. And then once I get a little bit more muscle on me, I'll start to shred again, and then I'll just kind of go through that. I'm just not going to let myself get so far out of whack that it takes such a huge effort to get back to where I want to be, if that makes sense. So I really hope you guys found some value in this little video, and if you have any more questions, you can send them to me in my Instagram account, or look me up on Facebook, send me a message. If this is something that I get more questions on that are adding value that I feel like I can actually give advice on because I've experienced myself, then I'll try to do another one of these. I've heard of a couple of other different obstacles that people have come across, and so I may do that in a later video, but this is the video for the first 11 questions. So thank you so much for joining me. Like and subscribe this video, and I will catch you next time.